God is the ultimate source of Scripture. Every Scripture writer was led and guided for the occasion, that time, that destiny point when they would write something in what we call the Bible. God knew what he was doing the entire way. God wasn't just interested a few minutes or a few milliseconds when he zapped someone into a trance and downloaded something into their head, and then God forgot about it. Done with that one now. No, God is interested at every stage of the composition and or editing and assembling of this thing we call the Bible. God is providentially overseeing every step of the process. If somebody messes it up, he'll fix it or he'll get somebody else. God knows what he's doing. These are my assumptions. They're not huge assumptions. I tend to approach Scripture with some really simple ideas. There's a God. He's competent. Okay. He actually can interact with people. He can lead the circumstances of their life to ready them and fully prepare them, not overlooking anything, so that when their time comes, they get the job done. And God gives it a thumbs up, okay? That does not require, again, whispering in the prophet's ear. Sometimes God does that. God usually shows up a little more dramatically than that. But for the most part, you have very little reference to God actually telling someone what to write down. Sometimes an angel will show up and say, hey, dude, over here, sit down and start writing. That happens occasionally, but most of the time it doesn't happen at all. We don't know the history of a lot of these books, but somehow we have transformed thinking about the process, the providential process of God being in charge of all the writers' lives. We have taken that idea and we've transformed it into an X-Files event, a paranormal event. And that's the problem. That's the problem. So we have God's role, his providential role. We have human output, composing, arranging, and editing. Now, I believe, and I've just telegraphed, that inspiration as a paranormal event is a flawed view, but it is the one that many Christians, and frankly, it was the one I was taught as a believer, and we had a serious church. And I understand why they wanted to do that. They wanted every word of Scripture to matter. We weren't neo-Orthodox, and I'm not neo-Orthodox now. Neo-Orthodox is just, the words don't matter, it's just the concepts and ideas. Now, the words actually do matter, and they are the words that God wanted there. He doesn't have to whisper them, though, and that was the gap. Because I wasn't taught dictation, but I was taught something that, when you really thought about it, sounded a lot like dictation, even though we didn't want to use the D word. Okay? That's the problem. The writers did not go into trances. Again, we don't have, Isaiah, the prophet, he gets up and he starts making breakfast. He pours out the raisin bran in the bowl, goes to the fridge and gets some milk, and right in the middle of it, God just zaps him. Just goes into a trance. His arm starts flailing, okay? And he just comes out of it, and he looks down at the table and says, wow, did I write that? I can't wait to read it. I'll bet it's good. No, they don't go into trances. We don't have automatic writing. Their minds don't go blank and gets overtaken by some supernatural agent. We don't have a divine download like the Matrix, okay? Nothing's stuck in their head, okay? The Bible is not a channeled document.